Hello and welcome everyone. You're watching a fresh edition of Sports Today. I'm Shivani Gupta. Today we're focusing on the India-West Indies ODI in Kochi. Joining me is former India captain Saurav Ganguly, who is with me in the studio, while our consulting editor Boria Majumdar joins us from their common city, Kolkata. Welcome to both of you. Also on the show, we'll get a live update from West Indies on the row between the players and the board, which has raised its ugly head yet again. Just how much of a shadow will it cast on this season? First up, an update from the ongoing series. India have made a good, strong start to their chase of 322 runs set by the West Indies. Shikhar Dhawan and Ajinkya Rahane added 48 runs in the first 9 overs itself. But India have suffered a blow now with Ajinkya Rahane, the new opener that MS Dhoni, the captain, has put a lot of faith in getting run out after a good start for India. Just how costly could that setback be? Because it's a big total on the board. India need to bat long and they need to have one big partnership. We'll discuss more on that with Saurav Ganguly and Boria Majumdar. But earlier, West Indies batsmen dominated Indian bowlers, scoring 321 for 6 in 50 overs. Marlon Samuels was the star of the day, smashing 126 not out in just 116 balls. Dinesh Ramdin too scored a 50 as they registered the highest score by a team batting first at Kochi.
Team India made an early breakthrough as Mohammad Shami had West Indian captain Dwayne Bravo caught by Shikhar Dhawan for 17. Dwayne Smith played a few shots to get to 46 runs. However, he lost his stumps to his Chennai teammate Ravindra Jadeja after scoring 46. At the scoreboard reading 120, the host struck again. This time, Amit Mishra was successful, taking Darren Bravo's wicket for 28.
And that was too easy.
West Indies then found two determined batsmen to forge towards a huge total. Marlon Samuels and Dinesh Ramdin mixed caution with aggression to take the team past the 200-run mark without any further hiccups.
Get to a half century.
Ramdin got to his half century of 53 deliveries, while Samuels got to the big one. He brought up his century of 99 balls. Ramdin was finally dismissed for 61. The host then dismissed Pollard and Andre Russell cheaply.
It's gone high. Has it got enough on it? No, it hasn't.
But could not prevent West Indies from scoring a mammoth 321 runs in their innings. Sports Bureau headlines today.
Saurav Ganguly with me in the studio. Saurav, 322, a stiff target under any conditions. How good is this start that India have got, despite the fact that Rahane has just got run out?
Yeah, it's a very good start. 53 for 1 after 9 overs. 320 is gettable for me. I think West Indies will be disappointed because they should have got to 340. They had so many wickets in hand at the end and couldn't accelerate. But as you know, 320 is a big total. But if you go back to the series against Australia, the way when India won that series, they chased 350 twice to win that series. So it's gettable. Important for West Indies will be to pick wickets, keep picking wickets as the game goes on, because if India bat 50 overs, they win this game.
Oh, that's a good note. But, you know, a comment about West Indies coming out today, Saurav, of course, you heard about the entire shadow of the pay row erupting again. Bravo said the team is at an all-time low morale, and then to come out and give Indian bowlers such a class is a statement of sorts from the West Indies team.
Yes, it is. But, you know, the only way to answer is by playing well. And they have done that. They still have to win this game because this is going to be a psychological game for them. You get to 322 and if India get past it, then it will be very hard for them in the next 4 games of the series. So once you get that big total, you make sure on the winning side. And I really don't agree with the way they went about their job yesterday. At the end of the day, I know money is important. You're having a bit of a tough with your board in terms of payments, but you have to understand that you know, you have to turn up at nets the day before an international game, because it's not all about money. I know money is important and it's part and parcel of your daily life, but it's not just about it all the time. And that could have been sorted after the tournament series was over, or maybe before they came to this tournament. They could have said, listen, we're not going to India if this is not sorted out. But once you're in India, you know, you get onto the park and get on with the sport. But for me, important will be the statement they make at the end of the 50 overs of Indian batting.
Oh, absolutely. That will be the more important statement. Boria, we'll talk about the strike and just, you know, what happened earlier today and its aftermath. But a brilliant knock by Marlon Samuels there. You know, he was quite on top of the Indian bowlers today.
He was, and this man is an enigma, isn't he? I mean, he's got all the shots in the book. He's disrupted, completely destroyed Lasith Malinga in that T20 final a couple of years back. But with so much talent, where is Marlon Samuels? And he's scored only 4,000 runs in ODI cricket, so that tells you he's impulsive, he's temperamental. That perhaps sums up the West Indies very, very well. Which West Indies is turning up on the park just like Pakistan. But I agree with Saurabh. What they did was, because it was India, because they knew they would get eyeballs, that's why they did what they did yesterday and today. This was their way of holding their own board to ransom and garner maximum media attention.
Right. A word about the West Indies side, though, Saurabh. They've at least shown that they can give this Indian team a fight, isn't it? I mean, before the series, we all know they don't have the stars that India has in the one-day format, but they have some very talented players, and on their day, they can dominate.
It's the difference at the top. You know, you look at the people who are part of the team now. Richie Richardson, Curtly Ambrose, who have actually done it at this level. And I keep saying that it's so important for young players to have people around you who have been successful at that level. You know, the players trust him. The players listen to them because they've done it all their lives, and it's a marked improvement. When a Richie Richardson or a Curtly Ambrose says, no, you're a good player, you know, it does a world of good to any young player, and I think it's so important in any professional team. Look at what Darren Lehman did to Australia. You know, he's come back into the team as a coach and transformed the side completely. So these things are very important. They have a very talented group. The good thing is that they've got with quite a few bowlers in this series, in this game, because it's going to be hard on the bowlers in these conditions. So you need to have enough backup. They've got Jerome Taylor, Russell, Sammy, Dwayne Bravo, who all of them can come and bowl. They've got a big total. They've got to be careful, and I like what Ramdin said at the break. Yes, we were 10-15 runs short, but we'll have to come and bowl well, because they know this Indian batting is capable of getting past 322.
Absolutely. Bad news though for Indian fans. Virat Kohli, someone who's had a lot of eyes on him for all the wrong reasons for throughout the summer, he's out for just 2. We're going to talk about him in just a bit, but let's address that issue that happened earlier today. Dwayne Bravo now has confirmed that they will go ahead and play the series against India, but earlier there were doubts if a strike could hit the tour because of the row between the players and their own union. Remember, the Players Association and the West Indies Cricket Board signed a new agreement last month covering pay and conditions, but all-rounder Bravo said that players were kept in the dark about the talks and would not accept the outcome. They claim players will have to take a massive pay cut under the new agreement. They relented though before the first ODI, Bravo releasing the following statement. After much consideration, the West Indies players have decided to participate in the first one-day international, but this should not be construed as an acceptance of the unreasonable terms and conditions or of the new MOU. And now let me introduce Carl Ramdeo, who's a senior journalist joining us from West Indies. Carl, just give us a sense of how much of a danger there is still on this series and of a strike actually hitting West Indies cricket while this series is going on.
Hi, Shivani. Yes, you know, so much excitement was expected by this new look West Indies team going off to India and then to South Africa subsequently as a precursor to the World Cup. You can imagine the shock and horror that greeted the Caribbean people when they heard of an impending strike once again. And if I can set this for you and you all there, the West Indies Cricket Board and the West Indies Cricket Players Association, they did not enjoy a very good relationship over the last few years. As a matter of fact, you can describe it as tumultuous when the former president, former West Indies off spinner Dinanath Ramnarayan was the president. That having said, the new look West Indies Cricket Board and of course a new president, former West Indies opener Wavell Hines, who now heads the West Indies Players Association, they brought the whole thing together. The relationship sort of tightened, and on September 19th last month we saw West Indies Cricket Board and West Indies Players Association coming together to sign a memorandum of understanding, and it was really horrific to see that is the subject of this impending strike that we heard about yesterday.
What are you learning, Carl? Could the players still decide to strike? They've decided to play the first match, but does the danger of a strike still loom large?
Yes, it still is there, because based on the information coming out of the team is that they have decided to play, to come onto the field today, because they would have had some discussions with the West Indies Cricket Board. But what is surprising, Shivani, is that both Wavell Hines and the new West Indies Cricket Board president, Dave Cameron, they came out in front of the media last month and said that all is well. and they're moving ahead. Now, it's surprising for the Caribbean people and the world to hear that many of the players were not aware of what was in the memorandum of understanding, and when it actually came down to dollars and cents, they now realize that they're in a worse off position than previously. So,
Carl, just a final comment I would like to take from you. You're saying the series is definitely not out of danger. Saurav and Boria here said perhaps the players should not have resorted to this, threatening to strike. What's your view on that?
I agree. If you get to India or any country and you're a team, you're part of a team, you're there to represent the West Indies cricket team, and obviously you should go on the field and play and work out your issues in the background and have your representative work the issues out. So I do not agree at all, and I don't think anybody in the Caribbean here would agree with the Caribbean team not going out onto the park and play. So we definitely agree that they should do that because they're there to play cricket.
Right, Carl Ramdeo, senior journalist, joining us from Port of Spain. Thanks a lot for putting this in perspective for us. Before we talked about West Indies players threatening to strike, though, Saurav was talking about how the difference at the top is what is helping the West Indies team. In fact, our correspondent Rasesh Mandani spoke to Richie Richardson, who's the team manager, and he is very confident that the team can give this Indian team a fight. Listen in.
Joining us is West Indies great, now serving as the manager of the team, Richie Richardson. Richie, good to have you with us. You said it's going to be a challenge playing in India. How do you look at the Indian challenge, the current team that's stacking up against you?
I mean, India are always a strong team in India, and they've got a lot of talented players, a lot of talented batsmen, quality bowlers, and a very solid captain, great captain in MS Dhoni. So it's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy to beat India, but we believe we can challenge India and give them the opportunity. We will beat India. We are the underdogs, so we don't have as much to lose, but we still want to win.
If you put your cricket expert hat on for a minute, which Indian batsman has sort of caught your eye the most in recent times?
Well, I have to admit, right, I'm a fan of Rohit. Right, but guys like Kohli and Ryan, I mean, you can't really. I mean, Kohli is an amazing talent. The way he bats, he scores freely. No one seems to be able to tie him down. And I like watching him play. In all formats of the game. Rohit. Over the years I've watched him, and he's been just very quiet, very easy, unassuming. And people would not pay a lot of attention to him. And then when you look around, he's got a century, and that's what I like about him. He's very cool. Having said that, we have just as good players, quality players, guys who can hit the ball, guys who can score runs, guys who are exciting. And so we have players who can match these guys as well. And we have to believe that. We have to think that we can match India. We cannot be singing their praises and thinking that they're better than us.
Actually, the immediate situation with Sunil Narine, how's the team coping with it? And is it a blow to start with on a tour where spin is expected to play a part?
Well, we can't get away from the fact that, we are disappointed, but at the end of the day, we can't change what has happened. So we are now focusing on what's ahead of us, and that is to make sure we are well prepared to take on India in the ODI series.
Right, Richie Richardson there, a huge fan of Rohit Sharma there, Saurav, but the one man that everyone keeps talking about is Virat Kohli. After that horrific summer in England that you and I were part of, covering the series from there, and Boria as well, another single-digit score for him in India.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the single-digit score. I'm worried about the dismissal. Same dismissal. And it was a straight delivery. It just didn't go anywhere. He's just squaring up too much. And I told him once in Manchester, when you're in a series, you don't try and interfere too much with the players' batting technique. But when I saw him at Lord's, when I saw him at the next Test match in Nottingham, I had met him in Manchester and said that he's just squaring up too early. So you're actually nicking off straight deliveries, and it's exactly happened today. He's a class act, no doubt about it. It's a minor blimp in his career, and hopefully there are people around him. Ravi is there, who's got runs at international cricket. Hopefully he can work his technique around. He worked with Sachin Tendulkar in Bombay for a couple of days, I believe. We just need to give him a bit of time. And somebody.
You're saying this is still minor?
Yeah, it's a minor thing. It's a minor thing because you cannot get so much of runs for such a long period of time without having ability and talent. It's happened to everyone. How many times have you seen Sachin Tendulkar being out with the delivery coming back into the right-hander? So it's just a small thing, and then hopefully he comes out of it very quickly. As I said, someone like Ravi needs to work with it. Who's done it at that level, who's played the swinging delivery for whatever maybe Ravi Shastri's record. You know, he still has the ability to change things, and this is one of the reasons why the West Indies team is looked a much better team just for this game. I'm not. It's too early for the series, but just for this game, they've looked good because they've made the changes. And I would never see Dwayne Bravo come out and open.
Yeah.
You know, Marlon Samuels looks a different player. Dinesh Ramdin looks a different player. So it's people at the top who matter, and I think I agree with him that Rohit's a serious talent, Virat Kohli is a serious talent, and hopefully we can become a good side.
All right, on that note, let's slip into a very short break. We'll come back with Saurav and Boria for their final comments very quickly about this match. 322 still for India to chase down in Kochi.
Now, Malayalam superstar Mohanlal's blog site is extremely popular, known for his actors' views on contemporary issues. But on Tuesday, his fans were in for a rude shock because they saw it being allegedly hacked by Team Cyber Warriors under the Free Kashmir banner. In fact, it had a message displayed supporting Pakistan's stand on Kashmir under the Pakistan flag. The site was restored within 20 minutes, and Kerala's cyber cell police officials are now looking into who hacked Mohanlal's blog site. Right, that's it then on Up South.